What?
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
G'day guys, welcome to Tier 3 Round 14 around Zandvoort here. Hopefully it's going to be quite an exciting race. As you can see the track from the helicopter view right there, looking very juicy. Let's go through and have a look at some of the previous stuff that has happened in the races. There are also all the different corners, quite challenging track for all of the drivers here. So we can see here turn 1, season 5, we've got Bully. Seems to have lost the car, had to rejoin in front of a few drivers. Luckily that was back when we had a ghosting off, otherwise that could have been a bit awkward. Also season 6 here, you can see Hero and Wingman going in around the turn 1 again. Having a little bit of collision there and allowing yours truly to go and win the race there. That was quite an interesting experience. All right, we'll go through here straight in. So we got the drivers pretty much ready to leave the box. Joining me today, we got Mikau.
G'day guys. Bit early to be seeing me. Hope everyone in the chat is having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be joining us. And for those of you who have been watching the Bathurst 1000 today, how'd it go? I wasn't able to watch any of it, sadly. But yes, Zandvoort, right? It's a very technical track, high speed, and lots of very long radius corners. So patience on the throttle is going to be key, smooth on the steering as well, and some very tricky braking zones, particularly in that middle sector.
For sure. Apologies, guys. I might have to just turn up my audio for a sec. Apologies. There we go. That's a lot better. So we got Lick leaving here for an outlap. We also have an Aston Martin out on an outlap.
It's Bunnings Snag.
Yeah, Bunnings Snag. Well, let's go with him as he's probably going to be the first driver to start a hot lap.
Yeah, just make sure that he's setting up the car exactly how he wants it. Can take you around a lap with the Aston Martin of Circuit Zandvoort, one of the newest re-additions to the Formula One calendar. Of course, raced here this year and was going to race there last year. But into this first braking zone, braking around the 75-meter mark, down the third gear. You want to have a short shift up into fourth to prevent that wheel spin, but it looks like Bunnings Snag having no issues there. Turn 2, turn 3 now. Very, very difficult. There's very high banking. Very easy to lose the rear on traction. Then you have this flat-out section at turns 4, 5, and 6. And then you hold your breath, especially right now for turn 7. Down to 6th gear, but there is a lot of traffic in the way. And looks like Jacob has lost it on his outlap at the exit of turn 7. So that is the McLaren down and out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it appears the Red Bull driver was in the way there. I'm not sure if that was the same on your screen, but yeah, there was 2 drivers blocking Bunnings. Very unfortunate. I'm sure he'll be complaining about that after the race.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Dialek, I think that's how you say it, I'm not entirely sure, but Dialek had basically nowhere to go because there was a McLaren blocking half the road. And, well, you have to make it through somehow, and of course you want to keep your tyres nice and clean before you start your flying lap. So very unfortunate for the Aston Martin. Still set the time on the board, completes the lap of 15.2, not quite representative, but it is the first time on the board. We should be seeing times around the mid to low 1 minute 10s, if my little Tweety bird is to be believed.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of Tier 3 drivers set very competitive laps over over a single lap. But be interesting to see when the pressure's there, if they can keep it up, as Lick sets a 1:10.7. Followed by Lights himself with a 1:10.5. So, yeah, the times are getting there.
Yeah, Lick just having a little bit of a nice drift outside the exit of turn 1. Lights, of course, multiple race winner here in Tier 3. And takes a little trip off into the runoff area as looks like Lick's teammate Forehead goes to the top of the timing charts. Whole 1/10 of a second faster than Lights. Not bad on this opening run.
I've seen quite a lot of pace out of Crush this weekend, and as I'm saying that, he does come across the line with a 110 flat. Very impressive time.
Jeez.
Yeah, very impressive. So that will be probably the benchmark for a little bit. We'll see if the veteran Seb has anything to say about it. He's informed me he's got a new wheelbase and a Formula rim now. So, as I say that, he invalidates his lap. So, the new wheelbase not doing him any favors there.
Well, it does take some time to get used to new equipment, regardless if it is a pretty substantial upgrade from your previous setup.
We're just watching Xmort 14 come through the last corner. Sets a 111.2. Pretty respectable banker there. Gets himself right P10. So not bad at all.
Yeah, just need to note that Bunning Snag did, in fact, go again, but he is slowest of the drivers to set a lap time, and it looks like Ali and the Red Bull encountering a lot of traffic in this third sector. Forehead, not really getting out of the way. That might have to be investigated by the stewards after the race. I'm not entirely sure. Well, it's up to the drivers what they want investigated, but it definitely looked like it hindered the Red Bull. And yeah, only 9th fastest for Ali, a 111.075. So maybe that Haas got a little bit in the way and was quite distracting in that final sector bait.
Has Seb gone again? I believe he has. He is pushing hard on this lap. He's got purple sector 1 getting very, very wide. Well, this is a very, very tight and technical area on the throttle and brake here, but he seems to be getting it right. Gets a little squirrely on the exit, but still got quite a lot of power down. We'll see how he goes through these last few corners here. Gets a purple sector 2 as well. Goes straight over that curb. We'll see if this can be a good competitor for a provisional pole right now as he goes through the final few corners now. Gets a good run through, and you will watch them. They will hug this grass as much as possible without spinning, so to get the shortest run to the line.
Yeah, it's good enough for front row, but it's still 2/10 off of the benchmark, so bittersweet for the championship leader. Looks like he was really struggling with the rear of the car, particularly at turns. Well, he hit the apex curb at turn 8, which is one way to really unsettle the car, and then just a bit too eager on throttle through both turns 9 and 10. So definitely more time to find, but not a bad banker for the Williams bait.
Yep, for sure. So we got Forehead as well and his teammate Lick both out on their outlaps. The two AlphaTauris as well on their outlaps as well. So we're about to see some improvements in the times, I think.
Scar Souls has just started his next flying lap. Currently sitting in 9th place with a 1 minute 10.963. He'll be looking to improve. Already ahead substantially of his teammate. I know that the Big Mac will be watching keenly to see if their fellow Silver Arrows can do him justice, and that's not going to help. A little slide through turn 7. Nicely caught, though. I have to say, mate. Very nicely caught.
Yes, now I just watched Forehead attempt to get a little bit of a slipstream from Seb entering the pits there. Didn't really work out. I'm not sure if he cost himself any time. But he is going on a heavy push here. This is his second run, so you'd expect him to improve a little bit. As his teammate Lick's retired.
Yeah, it looks like he's done that at the exit of turn 9. See what Forehead can see.
Oh, gets all over very, very wide there. I don't know, that would have cost him some time. He did get a purple sector 1, so maybe this could be still a very competitive time. I don't know. He's losing the rear a bunch. He doesn't have much power. Yeah, he's backed out. Wonder if he's going to try and go for a second lap in a row here.
Yeah, turns 7 and 8 are just so difficult around this track, especially in the new game, because there's a lack of that high-speed mechanical grip or the aero. The wings just aren't working as much as probably the drivers are used to from 2020, and the car just really wants to wash out wide. And if you get on that outside curbing between turns 8 and 9, you are in for a world of hurt, bait.
Yep, for sure. There's lots of dangerous curves on this track that you don't want to be a part of. Now we're just watching, we're going on board with lights here as he goes through the last 2 corners. Let's see if he can get a good run through, but Mr. P is there. I wonder if he will get in the way at all. He's a bit slow. Oh, lights has gone to the inside to avoid him and spins. Oh no.
Oh, and that was a pretty big whack on that rear wing.
Ooh.
Hopefully that isn't damaged. We saw the impact that it had on Carlos Sainz last night in the qualifying session for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. But yeah, that definitely would have thrown him off. Mr. P, I think, it looks like he also spun. Well, he's missing a front wing as well. I don't know how he's managed that or where he's managed that, but
He might have lost the front wing. That's why he was so slow through there, but yeah. So Forehead did go for his second lap, didn't improve, so he comes straight back into the pits. And we have Seb starting a lap here. Why don't you take us through this lap, Mikhail?
yeah, turn 2 looked pretty nice. You want to avoid all these curbs. He is wrestling that car through turn 3 as he tries to get the power down as early as possible. And then through the flat out kinks of 4, 5, and 6 into 7, he's lost a bit of time. 6th gear, just hoping the car stays within the limits, and then avoid these really, really high curves as they will lose you a lot of time. And that looks like, yeah, not happy with it. He's backed out of it.
Looks like he's going to go again or potentially come in the pits for another fresh set, if he even has one.
I think he does. He's only used 2 sets from what I've seen. And he's got time, 6.5 minutes left in the session. But Crush is also out on an outlap as we speak, going through turns 9 and 10. We'll see if he's able to improve, but not before letting Farmer Sam, who is on a flying lap bait, try to improve from that second last position.
Yeah, he is currently a 10th up on his time, so hopefully he can keep it together to jump up a position potentially. Might be more to play with if he's made a mistake in the last sector on his last lap, so let's see. It's very, very wide there. We've lost time on that curve. That is not where you want to be. He's going to get very, very close to the wall here. Maybe not as close as you'd like. Let's see. Oh, he's about 2/10 quicker. Moves up into 14th. Not bad for 3-lap-old softs there. He will have enough time, I think, to come back in and put on a fresh set and go again. So definitely not the end of the world.
Yeah, he lost time in that last sector. Just running that little bit wide at the penultimate corner really sets you up for a horrible run through the flat-out banked corner, which still is a spectacular sight to see.
Oh, for sure. So I believe we just had Saggy there finish a lap. I don't think he improved. And he's definitely not going again because he is out of ERS. We have Ali on a lap, I believe. Yep, we got Ali on a lap. Let's see what the Red Bull driver can do. He had quite a bit of pace last week at Saudi Arabia. Very unfortunate he couldn't get the W in the end.
I mean,
He's
it's
very
racing,
restrained through there. I'm not sure if that's awarding him the most amount of time. Missing the apex a bit as well.
Looks very tentative, like he doesn't really trust the car, the package underneath him. He can't really push the car as much as he probably wants to, but he's still finding time, but it's only up by a 10th. So he runs deep into the chicane of turns 11 and 12 as well. That is really going to cost him, mate.
Yeah, for sure. Like, oh, he even missed the apex there a little bit, gone very wide. So, look, he might improve, but I think he's realized that it's not going to be by much, so he's coming in. Oh, that was
very
dangerous.
hot.
Oof.
Very hot into the pits as Scar Souls was on low fuel mode, I do believe. Oh, no, that's Saggy, my bad.
So we have lights on a lap as he goes wide and goes over that curb. You do not want to go over. Well, that definitely would have cost him. I think he's going to make the decision to back out here.
Yeah, lights going pretty slow. So that 1 minute 10.0 that Crush set on his first run, still the benchmark. And Lights, his teammate, 5/10 off, half a second between those two. Not quite used to seeing that much of a gap between these two teammates, but I mean, Crush has really performed where it's mattered, but there's still time for one more run.
Just watching Mr. P as he goes to the last corner, getting very squirrely, almost losing the car. But he does come across the line in 7th place with a 1:10.7, so very respectable improvement from the AlphaTauri reserve driver there today.
Yeah, he only improved by 400ths of a second, mate, but that was enough to jump Lick, who is now 100th behind Mr. P. So a solid effort there from the AlphaTauri, as is the other AlphaTauri reserve of Sneaky. Unfortunately, Grills and Skate are both unable to make this one. Sad to see.
Sneaky is on a lap, so we'll see if he can improve and get himself up there, maybe potentially in the top 3. He is currently about 300s up on his time, and yep, takes the curb you do not want to take. Goes wide, has to back out of that lap. Very unfortunate. I believe we have Scarsouls here on a lap who's 3/10 up in the first sector alone, but he's backed out.
Yeah, with Sneaky, he dipped a tire into the grass on the entry of turn 7, and once you've done that, you lose all that grip in that front left tire. So it was pretty done from that moment, I'm afraid. And then you just saw how the car just washed out wide onto that exit curb. And then once you've hit that, you just have to get out of the power, or you are facing the same fate as Jacob Meister.
Yeah, for sure. Now just on board with Bunnings. He is looking relatively competitive this lap, so we'll see if he can come across the line and improve. He is all the way back in 15th, but any improvement right now will gain him a lot of positions. See, he's about to come across the line now. Jumps all the way up to 11th. Wow, very impressive. All you have to do, yep, that was only a 3/10 improvement. Jumped him up that many positions. So very, very competitive grid here in Tier 3 this week.
Yeah, I mean, the qualifying times have always been so close throughout all 3 tiers, to be honest. But yeah, short track like Zandvoort, only 14 corners to negotiate. Even though these corners can be quite challenging. I'm watching Seb on his final run, and he's backed out of it yet again.
He still has time, but he's got to hurry.
And he's also doing another lap on those soft compound tires, so he's going to have a bit more wear.
My cameras. It was just showing the grandstand. Alright. Having a look
Now we have to look at the orange sands, which is a nice detail. Oh no, Saggy Kid and forehead at turn 8. That is not how you let a car go, forehead. You don't just park it at the apex. That is going to be one fuming Mercedes driver. So much so that he's just retired on track. No, he hasn't. That's his teammate.
So we're just on board now with Seb as he goes to attempt his final attempt at beating Crush's time. And Crush is also on a lap trying to improve at the exact same time. So we'll see what is going to happen. Sneaky jumps himself up into 3rd with a 1:10.2, but Seb is not looking very confident here on this lap so far. His rear end is losing, not giving him all the confidence that he needs. So don't know if he's going to be able to do it yet, but we never know. There is still a few more sectors to go.
Crush is up. This is going to be a 109.8.
And Seb invalidated. Seb invalidated. Wow. So no one else can do it apart from maybe Latino, but no, he is up. Let's go Dialek.
It looks like Dialek just trying to carry as much speed as he can as he drops outside the 10. As Mort goes into 8th, and Dalek will stay in 11th fastest, or 11th place with a 1:10.790. And we're just waiting on the Saggy Kid, trying to still improve, the last driver, to complete their flying laps. Dips a tire in the grass. Oh, and he gets on the apex curb of 13, and that's a one-way ticket to that gravel trap or the wall on the right-hand side, but you have your choice.
Yeah. So we'll just watch the driver, assumably. Yeah, he's gonna pull into the pits.
Ladies
Thanks,
and gentlemen, that
Saggy.
is your grid. That is our grid for the 36 lap campaign around Zandvoort.
I'm predicting quite a lot of safety cars.
Yeah, safety cars not unheard of at Circuit Zandvoort. There's been quite a few in the past couple of seasons that we've been able to race around the Netherlands in both tiers 1 and 2. So I'm sure tier 3 won't be any different. And with the increased damage setting this season, it's going to be a race of attrition, I feel.
For sure.
So it's Crush on pole position with 109.8, the only driver to go into the 109s. Seb will line up alongside him, unable to beat the Alpine's time, and Lights will make it an Alpine 1-3 with a 1 minute 10.256, just 100th faster than Sneaky, reserving AlphaTauri. He'll start 4th, Forehead in 5th, with Scar Souls, Latino, Maud, Mr. P, and Lick rounding out the top 10, with Daylag, Bunning, Snag, only F1, and I didn't get to scroll through the rest of the order, but we'll go through that on the grid. So,
Yeah, for sure.
very impressive time from both Alpines getting their act together. Fortunately, Seb couldn't really quite deliver when it counted, but there's no points for Saturday, mate. It's all about the race as things stand right now, depending what happens with the sprint qualifying format. But one thing is for certain, and it is that this grid is really, really tight. And you know what that means?
Tight racing.
Yep. And a lot more risk taking as well because it's quite difficult to overtake,
Oh
and
my god.
especially in torrential rain.
Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. Could that be why some drivers were slower in quali because they were preparing for the wet weather race? We'll never know. But let's see what happens now with the drivers being thrown this curveball of a wet race.
I don't even think it's the intermediate. I think it might actually be the extremes. It looks pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's some very, very heavy rain. You can see all the spectators up there on top of the building not caring at all. Just they're just happy to be there watching F1.
The Dutch are built different, mate. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Doesn't matter if they get wet as long as Verstappen wins.
Very true. Very, very true. It looks like
Oh,
it is
look.
going to be the intermediate tires for all 17 drivers on this grid.
Wow.
It's yeah, it's pretty heavy, so might be a little bit of a challenge to get those tires up to temperature and to make sure that they actually have enough rubber in contact with the road.
Wow,
But
okay. Getting a report from Weatherman T-Mac. In 30 minutes into the race, it will be drying up. So that could come into play maybe, what, in the last 5 to 10 laps, depending on safety cars?
yeah, that's there's definitely a risk that it turns dry. Ali is yet to leave his grid slot, and the rest of the grid is halfway around the lap. So I don't know what's going on there. Perhaps for not able to see the green flags. But it is Crush, Seb Lights, the top 3. Sneaky, Forehead, Scar Souls, Latino, Mort, Mr. P, and Lick round out the 10 with Dalek, Budding Snag, Only F1, Saggy Kid, Ali, Farmer Sam, and Jacob Meister will round out the 17 competitors at Circuit Zandvoort this evening. Can I just point out, mate, that Cody's have gone through the immense amount of trouble to make the majority, if not all of the grandstands, completely orange at Zandvoort.
They have. It's a very good point. But I wonder why they're supporting McLaren so intently.
Yeah, it's McLaren, a Dutch team, as everyone knows that. So
I it was just funny. It was it's a different color of orange, but It looks very similar when you're looking at it from afar, but there we go. So we got all the drivers here lining up on the grid, ready to take their spots. I'm sure a lot of drivers will get taken by surprise by the wet conditions, so we should see quite a lot of position changes into T1 or potentially even a crash. So keep your eyes peeled because it is all about to kick off here.
I don't know if Ali is in the same place on your screen as he is on mine, but about a minute delay on starting his formation lap. So he's coming around the penultimate corner now.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just got to wait for this Red Bull to make their way all the way around this long banked corner, which is going to be a very, very difficult corner in these kinds of conditions because it's easy flat in the dry. Not so much in the rain.
Yeah,
All these drivers
sure.
have only had one lap, the formation lap, to get ready for these conditions, but I'll let you do the honors as Ali finally pulls up into his grid slot. And we are about to kick things off here at Zandvoort. Start round 14. Take us away.
Okay, so we got all the lights coming on now. And away we go. You can see a little bit of a delayed reaction from some of the drivers there, but a lot of them getting away well. Some of them having some issues. A lot of them changing. You can see the two Alpines falling back. Wow, Seb has got the lead, followed by Sneaky.
Goodness.
Oh, wow, massive, massive accident in the back. Wow, that's
Yep.
involving Mr. P and Red Bull. Ali's out.
Yeah, it looks
Wow.
like Ali just didn't brake for the first corner. And multiple drivers caught up in that. Mr. P, Bunning Snag, two of them. Looks like I think Jacob might have messed up as well. There's a virtual safety car out. And now the full safety car has been deployed as there is a lot of debris all over this racetrack. But what a horrible start from our Polster Crush. He's already down 3 places before the first corner. Yeah, that's a dramatic first corner bait. And we have the full safety car out on lap 1.
Yeah, for sure. As I kind of expected there, you're going... Lots of drivers don't know the braking points and all that kind of stuff going into a wet weather T1 with probably a lot of drivers didn't know practice for wet weather. So, yeah, it's surprising there wasn't more carnage, but we might see quite a few drivers pull into the pits here because they might have damage.
Well, I know at least 2 of them, 2 at the back at the moment, have suffered with broken front wings or broken bits and bobs. I think Farmer Sam as well. I saw someone's front wing. I don't know whose exactly it was. It is Daleks, actually. So 1 Red Bull out, 1 Red Bull without a wing. Luckily, Red Bull gives you wings, so he'll be asking for another one.
Yeah, as you can see, quite a few drivers pulling in there. Yeah, lots of them coming in, probably for wing changes and various things, as Jacob Meister pops himself all the way up into 10th place now. And Seb has left. I'm not sure if that's a game crash or something, but he'll be wanting to get in very quick.
Yeah, it's I think Seb's internet playing its usual tricks. You hate to see it.
Yeah, for sure. And more drivers leaving. Oh, goodness. This is not what we like to see, but hopefully we can get it all sorted out and they'll join back. No worries. We've still got a few laps here. Maybe 1 or 2 more laps on a safety car. So actually only 1 more lap.
Yeah, I just still don't really know exactly what happened at that first corner. Because it seriously just looks like that Ali just either broke way too late or just didn't brake at all for that first corner. So yeah. And then it was a bit of a chain reaction. The Aston Martin of Bunning Snag going facing the wrong way at turn 1, and then there was lots of debris. I think there must have been an issue with Dalek as well at the 3rd corner, which brought out the safety car. So there were a lot of cars going very slowly through that section of the track. And yeah, it's unfortunate to see, but kind of expected in these kinds of conditions. And with how tight we saw things in qualifying, the start of the race is a a massive opportunity to gain lots of positions, just like only F1, Saggy Kid, Jacob Meister, and Seb and Sneaky have.
I hope all the drivers have joined back now. Looks like Seb is still currently not in it, so at least his AI didn't pit him. And I also want to take this opportunity to just point out for everyone, yes, sorry, the title is wrong. It's kind of stuck like that until the end of Tier 3. I do apologize about that.
Yes, we aren't at Jeddah anymore, although that would be quite, even more dramatic. 2 races in a row at Jeddah.
We're just fishing for views, Jeddah's more
Yeah,
relevant this week.
exactly. I mean, yeah, with the real life Formula One Championship in its penultimate round in the Saudi Arabian city. Expect things to really heat up as the evening continues.
So Seb still hasn't joined back, and the safety car's about to come in, so expect him to either lose positions or get back in at the nick of time. There you go. We got the call. Safety car is in this lap. And yep, Seb is still not back.
I think it's internet issues, not just a casual game crash that most of these drivers are so familiar with now. It's really unfortunate to see, but no, all hope isn't lost just yet. All the drivers still do need to pass him, and pass him cleanly, because the AI can be very unpredictable. Looks like Bunny Snag actually had a little spin under the safety cars, dropped way back from the rest of the field.
The AI almost looked like it was going, and Crush took off way too early. He's going to lose a position of forehead here. I'm not sure if that was before the line. The 2 Alpines getting a little bit swamped there, as Forehead's going to go side by side with Crush, and they're going to battle all the way through to turn 3. This is going to... Oh, that is close. But Seb's AI is still in the lead. I'm not sure. Is it AI? It's still AI. Look, the AI is defending for its life.
Well, the AI is known to be extremely strong around Circuit Zandvoort, so if there's any race to have your internet disconnect, this one is probably it. Sneaky still can't quite find his way past the Williams, and that has allowed both Lights and Crush to stay well on their tails.
Whoa, Lights goes for the inside there. Almost has a little tiny crash of Sneaky, but Lights is using a bunch of ERS to make moves here. Oh, his Crush almost crashes into his teammate. Wow, something is going to happen here. Wow, oh look, there's a little bit of a concertina. Everyone crashes into each other. I hope there was no wing damage there.
Yeah, meanwhile behind it looks like Lick got past Mort, having a little bit of a battle into the chicane of turns 11 and 12. How do they all negotiate this banking? Looks like Jacob spun. The Sega Kid's out. Oh my goodness, there was a massive accident at the
everyone is
last
swamping
corner.
Seb. Oh, the Alpine just dove down the inside. Sneaky went around the outside, and Crush got a 5-second pen for that. Wow, so much is happening with the safety car. There was a lot of positions changed right at the point of the safety car coming out, so I don't know, that might need to be looked at.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the rear of the grid, and we had 3 drivers spinning across the track out of the banked corner bait. 3 of them. We had the Saggy Kid, we have Dalek, and Jacob Meister as well. But fortunately for the McLaren, he's still got all 4 wheels on his car, so he's able to continue. And I think he might have only suffered a minor bodywork damage. I think his floor is slightly damaged. I can see it chipped a little bit from the offboard, but everything else seems to be intact. But that floor damage is going to really affect the car's handling, especially in these tricky conditions.
Yeah, it's not something you want to deal with around this track. Oh, as Lick has lost his front wing, we just caught a glimpse of that. Not sure what happened there, especially on a safety car. He's going to have to come back in and get that replaced. Very unfortunate. That's going to put him in last place.
So we've had 2 safety cars, and they are just about to complete 5 laps.
I think Seb just got saved there, to be honest. He's still not back, but he's got... Oh my god, and Bunning Snags gets a drive-through.
I think Seb's actually down and out.
Yeah, I think he might be properly out. Yeah, like, I mean, he can always still come back.
We'll just have to see how things go. That has saved the Alpines, though. Both of them were able to get past the Williams.
Yeah, but Crush did get that 5-second. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with that, as he went for quite an aggressive dive. And yeah, so he may be able to get it removed, but he does still have to stop, so...
Yeah, he's going to serve that, and you can't remove serve penalties, unfortunately. So he's paid the price for it, but it looks like Seb's internet has just come back online. So he should be able to regain control of his car before the field gets going again at the end of lap 7, is my guesstimate.
Wow, that's very lucky to be gone for that long and still be in 4th position. Very, very lucky.
It's a race of attrition, this one, Bait. Already had 3 casualties in 6 laps, 2 safety cars, and Bunning Snag is really struggling to keep that car under control. I think he must have bodywork damage. That car is, yeah, I mean, there is no chance of keeping that on the road. But the safety car has been called in. So Sneaky will take control of the rest of the field, try and back them up slightly, give the safety car a bit of room, and then we will be green flag racing once again.
Will Seb get control before there's green flag racing, as Sneaky's gone, but wow, lots of pens, and Seb gains control just in the nick of time. Wow. Look at that. That is crazy.
Well, into turn 1, looks like Mort had a little bit of a look up the inside of Latino. Couldn't quite be as daring on the brakes as he probably needed to. Forehead all over the back of Seb, who's trying to acclimatize himself back to these tricky conditions, as all these drivers are, and also trying to get all their tyres into their proper working range. It looks like Mr. P and Lick going side by side through turn 3, but it's the Haas of Lick that prevails in that exchange. And now, all over the back of Farmer Sam into turn 7. This is risky up the inside. They both leave each other enough room. Now they have to leave room on the exit as well. They're still going at it through now into turn 8. Now turn 8 is come and gone. Now into turn 9 they go. Lick on the inside line, but Farmer Sam's still trying to keep it around the outside. But it's not going to work, and the Haas is now through up back into the points.
Wow, that was some great driving from the 2 drivers there, as we'll go back up with Forehead, who is just absolutely hounding Seb at the moment. I think Seb, like you're saying, is still struggling to acclimatize to these conditions after being out of the race for so long, but he should eventually pick up the pace. But what does Alpine do here? I've heard from both the drivers themselves that they don't really care about team orders or any of that junk, and Lights doesn't have a mic to begin with, so they might be battling very hard for 2nd place here.
Well, as long as they don't repeat what FIBA and Hero did last week back in Jeddah, they are free to race in my book. I mean, it's still early days. We'll
sure, it's either of them's race, but you got to make sure Crush doesn't get ahead if they've got to stop again, as he will have to serve that 5-second penalty under the pit. So it'll be interesting how they play that without communication with each other. Let's go on board with Mort, who's chasing down Farmer Sam here.
Farmer Sam really struggling to keep the pace in that car. It looks like he might actually have some bodywork damage with how the car just isn't responding to his inputs. It looks very, very lazy. Just the front end just not quite gripping up.
It does kind of look like that on board with Mort right now. It just could be that these drivers just aren't used to these wet, greasy conditions. But yeah, Mort's definitely a little bit quicker than Farmer Sam at doing it. As Sneaky sets fastest lap, followed by Crushes. We've got a yellow flag. That's Jacob Meister.
No, that's not Jacob Meister.
Oh, that's
Lick.
Lick. Oh, yeah.
Lick having a little spin at the exit of the banked corner, going into the pits to get off of those burning intermediates, and he is basically out of this race unless there is another safety car just to cast the line and save him.
Yeah, well, I think Seb is pushing very hard now to try and catch back up, and Crush looks like he's losing time behind his teammate, who is losing time to Sneaky. So I think Crush might make some desperate moves to get past his teammate soon, because, yeah, he's definitely losing time behind him. It's not what you want.
Yeah, Crush had a little bit of a half look into turn 1 on this current lap. Seb finally getting used to these conditions, finding a rhythm for himself, and then he's been able to close that gap by around 3-4 tenths, almost going into that 1 section range. Of course, no DRS in the wet conditions, but even still, the closer you can get, the better, because then you get that slipstream down that long main straight, and that's basically the only chance to make a pass unless someone else makes a mistake in front of you.
So Crush did not get the cleanest exit there. That's going to allow Lights to probably keep this position for a whole nother lap. It's not what Crush needs, but Lights is starting to keep pace with Sneaky ahead now, so it's not the end of the world. There's still a very, very long race. There is still 26 laps remaining for these drivers to navigate, so yeah, we'll see what happens as the laps progress.
Well, it's not just the laps progressing, it's all the rain getting lighter. It
Oh,
certainly
no.
has lightened up a little bit since the start of the race. And as that happens, these drivers will have to make sure that they keep those intermediate tires in their proper working range. And if they choose to extend it as far as they can, try and make it to the dry period without making another pit stop, then they'll really have to start looking after that rubber.
So just on board with Latino, and Scar Souls was driving normally, and his game crashed by the looks of it and ended up lagging forward, and Latino lost the position. So it's pretty interesting there, as Scar Souls is joining back. So oh, will Crush be able to get the run this time round? He is a lot closer. He is going to use all of his ERS down here on the straight, so I think he's going to have a look at his teammate here as he sets the fastest lap.
Outside line though, look at that. Oh, can't quite get it done. The two athletes now riding side by side into now turn 2, but it looks like Crush goes ahead. Lights has to concede the position, and Crush has effectively been released from his teammate, trying to close that gap down to Sneaky as much as he can.
For sure. That was definitely a very, very confident and good move from Crush there on his teammate. Kept it safe, and it was very, very quick.
It was an important move as well. I mean, even now, they've closed the gap to Sneaky so much and so quickly. But it looks like Seb actually has had another connection issue.
No. Yeah, and he seems to be having, he's left.
That's going to be easy picking for the Heart of Forehead.
Also, just going on board with Forehead, he does have a yellow fuel light on, so interesting to see the progress of that driver if he runs out of fuel.
Oh yeah, Crush was definitely being held up by his teammate. And Sneaky has a little bit of a slide out of the last corner. That's going to be an easy move as Crush to the right-hand side. Fastest lap takes the race lead, and he is now back in control, leading the way into the second third of the race.
Wow, very, very quick and concise driving from Crush there. In one lap, he managed to get from P3 back into P1, so all he's got to do is put in some solid lap.
Only F1. Too deep, too late on the brakes. Forehead goes through Seb as Seb now rejoins the session. And yeah, a little bit of contact as well between the Williams and the Alfa Romeo. Things are getting a little bit spicy in these very, very, this tricky race.
Yeah, so Sneaky's probably going to be feeling the pressure now. He is in the middle of an Alpine sandwich, so he's going to be feeling the pressure from that. But look at Crush just already pull away. He's pulled out already a second, so at this rate, he should be able to outdrive his penalty.
We'll see how things go. These drivers will need to make a pit stop. The intermediates can't do the whole race. But it's pretty clear to see that Crush, very well, the Rainmaster at the moment, just flying away in these intermediate conditions. 1.4 seconds now already within a lap and a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely gaining easily half a tenth to a tenth every corner at the moment. So very, very confident driving from the Alpine driver there. So if he just keeps this up, he should be on for a good result. So just noticing as well, Forehead lost about 5 seconds being behind Seb's AI. That's crazy.
That is a lot. He is running a lighter car though, so we'll see if he's able to use the weight advantage to try and catch up, but taking the curb at the exit of turn 8 like that isn't going to do you any favors, mate.
No, not at all. No, Lights is definitely the one pressuring Sneaky now, so I think Sneaky's starting to definitely feel the effects of either the wear on the inters or maybe the pressure, but maybe it just might be the Alpine drivers finding their feet a little bit more, but Sneaky is definitely about to get swamped by Lights here, but Lights does get a pretty poor exit, so that will allow Sneaky to probably keep the position for one more lap. As Crush sets the fastest lap again.
The track is continuing to get faster and faster and faster, but it will only get faster to a certain point because the rain has ceased.
Yeah, that is a very good point, and it was half an hour when we have had 2 safety cars, so I feel like, yeah, it's about that time now. So when will the drivers make the decision to come in? And this is definitely not helping Crush here because he will have to serve this pen, so... And that is also not going to help Lights either, so Lights is going to get held up. So Sneaky might find himself in a great position here after this pit stop.
It's not just when do they pit, mate, it's also what tires do they go on.
Yeah, it's a tough choice, isn't it? But you would think the softs might be a little bit too much to try and stretch.
Well, as the track is continuing to dry, the softs are going to be a lot faster than the mediums. Until, of course, all the water has dissipated from just the cars running over it for another, 20 times?
Yeah, but would you really want to go 14 to 15 laps on softs?
It depends how quickly the track dries. It looks like it's drying pretty quickly. In comes Sneaky. It's the medium compound tires. No surprise at this stage. They will be looking to try and go to the end of the race as Latino and Only F1 having an exchange through the first sequence of corners. The Aston Martin trying to cleanly get through. Oh, squeezes Only F1 to the outside curbing at turn 2, but gets the move done. Not the cleanest move we've ever seen. But
as Sneaky and Lights come out with their dry tires right in with Farmer Sam there and Mort around them, and they're definitely struggling with those medium tires. So Mort's just going to go flying past Lights here by the looks of it. No, it's a very dangerous part to overtake, but he is still so much quicker than the medium runners right now.
Yeah, these two on dry tires have to be so tentative with everything at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on their lap times, but at the moment Sneaky is losing 3 to 4 tenths every single corner. DRS has been enabled, but that isn't always the telltale sign that the dry tires are faster.
Wow, Crush is staying out another lap.
We're getting close, bait, but it's not quite time just yet. Sneaky has lost around a second in the past 6 corners to Farmer Sam in front.
Yeah, Lights does appear to be a bit quicker than Sneaky on these dry tires, but yeah, I think that's the case. But Forehead and Seb come in now as they've seen the DRS enabled sign. Usually people say that's a good time to go in a pit, but as you said earlier, it's not always the case. So we will see changing strategies here. As look at this, all these drivers will come out right in between and around all of them. Wow, look at that. The Haas driver goes side by side with the Alpine. Oh, sorry, the AlphaTauri. Wow, very, very close. And Seb's right here, right behind all the other drivers there, but he's going to be struggling on these mediums still for probably another lap.
Well, it's definitely the crossover point now. The gap doesn't seem to really be moving. If anything, it's now starting to close up between Sneaky and Farmer Sam. So these drivers that have just pit might have actually done the best call possible. Yeah, there we go. Sneaky has closed up by 5/10 in the space of 3 corners. It is now time for the dry tires. Jacob Meister has put on softs to go 21 laps, and we'll see how he goes.
Yep, there we go. The race leader, Crush, coming in. Now, as I've said multiple times, he will have to serve that penalty. So will he keep his race lead here after this pit?
Oh, I think he will.
Yeah,
It's
I think
going to be close.
he's kept enough time from staying out to the right time. Go on board with Sneaky here, who's effective race leader until
it's no
Crush
contest.
retakes.
It's no contest. Look at that, mate.
Yeah, wow. So far ahead. That's how much time Sneaky and everyone else was losing on pitting that 1 lap too early. So very, very unfortunate there. But they do have their tires nice and warm, so they are catching Crush. But I'm sure with Crush's pace, he should be able to hold on to this gap now for the rest of the race.
We'll see how the raw pace is in the dry. Qualifying was definitely very promising for...
Wow, look at this. We got a soft runner of Latino all over the back of Lights here. Lights is definitely struggling. Oh, Latino almost checking up on Lights there. But I think Latino's going to try and go for it soon as he's got the superior grip by far. Lights does not have DRS here, but Latino's a bit too far back. He's going to have to wait until the pit straight.
He had a little bit of a half look at the inside of turn 10. Probably would have been a pretty easy move to say the least, but opts to play it safe. But playing safe has lost him a whole lot of time to those in front. And Lights a spot.
Oh! Oh! And someone else, Seb lost it. Wow, 2 drivers in 1 shot spinning. Someone screenshot that for later. Wow. And another a VSC. Will there be a safety car? Oh, Latino has a puncture. Latino has a puncture on the softs. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you won't have the full safety car to condense the field back up again, but that is really unfortunate for Sebastian. Yeah, the track was still a bit greasy, those medium tires. I think he just tried to take it flat. I think he just tried to take that banking flat, but it wasn't quite ready for it. And because of that, Jacob Meister now up into the points. A sneaky drive-through penalty.
Wow.
With a virtual safety car.
That's not what you want. And this has definitely helped Crush. This has taken a lot of pressure off him now.
Lick's crashed as well.
Wow.
Lick's done what Saxa did a couple seasons ago and has just lost at the exit of turn 12. It's all kicking off here on lap 18.
Yeah, wow. Look at the gaps now between all the drivers. That's crazy. But we do have Lights and Latino trading places, but that is because Latino is still dealing with that puncture. Very unfortunate for him. Wow. This is craziness.
Sneaky now goes into the pit lane to serve that drive-through penalty. And I was going to say it was going to be close